my first 15 years trying to get out of the woods because I thought it was horrible. And I spent the next 20 years trying to get back. The truth of the matter is we need to be well-rounded individuals like our forefathers were.
And another Mountain Readiness Monday coming at you live right here from the back 40 in northwestern North Carolina. I'm your host, T, with Mountain Readiness. Of course, joining me off to the cubicle to my, I don't know which direction that is, a man among men. In the Spanish language, he's known as El Mucho Macho. Of course, Joe Tedai. And down below, you always got to talk about how pretty you are, Joe. You're like a specimen of a man. I look one day, when I grow up, I want to be like you. I'm not even kidding.
Lord.
And then, of course, this guy down below, Randy Martin with Troy's Gate, he is also, I would say he is the most interesting man in the world.
Yes.
Has seen it, done it, bought the T-shirt. He actually designed the damn T-shirt. So, Randy is here with us back again today. As we told you guys, we were going to bring Randy back and forth because Randy is so interesting in the stuff that he does over at Troy's Gate. We find to be of the utmost importance to where the world is going, mental preparedness, and being able to protect ourselves and take care of ourselves and just be good, honest, well-rounded American citizens. I think it's super important what you're doing, Randy. So, guys, welcome. Joe, how are you doing, man? It was a long weekend for us.
Bro, you ain't lying. I was running on fumes on the way home, man. It was like a 5-hour drive. But, I'll never complain about Charlotte traffic again after being
I know why.
Dude, I like going home. There, like on a Sunday at like 2 o'clock, it was bumper to bumper traffic. Getting out of Atlanta, it was just crazy. But all in all, it was a great show, man. It really was.
It was. And guys, for all of y'all that we're not keeping up on social media, first, let me just say, guys, number one, first and foremost, please hit the like, share, subscribe, ring the bell button, comment, share it with your friends, your family. Even if we suck, comment down there and be like, man, you guys really suck. And let the algorithm gods be happy so that they show favoritism upon us and spread us a little bit more across YouTube land. Also to our sponsors and affiliates, we're getting all this set up on the website. Our affiliate, Survival Gear BSO, Brian, will be an affiliate for him because he's awesome and he has awesome gear. And we want to make sure that you guys get the best stuff out there for the best price. Survival Gear BSO. We are also Redmond Salt. We are an affiliate for now. That will be coming here soon. There's a Survival Gear, just in case you need the website. Redmond Salt, I haven't plugged them in there, but we will be able to give good deals, discount rates on Redmond Salt. Super important stuff, guys. Salt, you got to hydrate your body. You can drink all the water that you want to in the world, but if you don't have that sodium and those minerals, it doesn't do anything. Got to open them cells, suck that water in. So Redmond Salt, also an affiliate for them. And, of course, make sure you are checking out our friends over in Angery American land, the Angery American Nation. I'm, of course, on the Angery podcast every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Make sure to say hi to those guys as well. We've got a lot of the Angery Nation already in here. Matt King, Christy Renee, Guy, Russ. Welcome to the show, guys. Randy, what have you been up to, brother?
Well, we've been playing at the range, just bringing people up and shocking them. we
Shotgun.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. Shotgun.
We just had a group up Saturday, and man, I have never seen magazines fly the way they did everywhere but in the gun. It was interesting, and then this stuff gets emotional for some people, and we had some very emotional stuff going on, but we still trying to work and trying to help people out in case they have to do that someday. Hoping we never do. Yeah.
Isn't it amazing that all the flat range in the world cannot fully prepare you mentally for if worse comes to worse, and even the most seasoned, accomplished war fighters, that stressor changes the dynamics of everything. And that's where you really iron out those deficiencies. Oh, where should maybe I need to move this mag a little bit over. I didn't quite grab that just right. It's phenomenal, the stuff that you guys do out there. But before we get into that, we'll talk about Blade Show a little bit. Guys, we were in Atlanta. It was myself, Ted, and of course, Brian with Survival Gear BSO. We were out there at Gehagen Customs and meeting a bunch of you guys, fans. We actually had Alan K from Alan K Survival Season 1, Winner of Alone, along with Chris Weatherman. They had their book out there. We just introduced the first, the Dalton, which was the big chopper in the first book. Of course, the Going Home series. Let's throw that. I've actually got a video that shows the Dalton there. So I'm going to drop us out and play this video, guys. It's going to be pretty cool. Let's just drop.
Guys, we're at Blade Show, booth 533 with Gehagen Customs. Good old Angery American, right? And the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Dalton in the house, holding a fine piece of cutlery. And sneaking off to the side, Mr. Donnie Dunn, the primary designer of the blade. That's right. Check out the scales on that. They look so nice. And we got Mr. T behind the counter right there, Bob Toombs. What up, y'all? First customer for
What up?
Tombstone Knife Works.
Tombstone Blade Works.
So come check us out at 533, guys.
How can we get this blade?
Pre-orders will be up on the website next week. Limited run right now.
AngryAmerican.com. Awesome.
There we have it. The Dalton right there. So remember, guys, next week, Chris says it'll be up on the website, which actually means it'll be up in about 2 or 3 weeks because Chris operates the same as I do, always behind. And but awesome blade. It's fun to do these collaborations. Of course, we did collaboration with Joe over here. The Ground Branch Tactical Knife, limited 1 through 50 edition. We are already halfway through them. So if you want one of these limited knives, get them now. They're on the Gehagen customs.com website. And once those are gone, they're gone. You can there's only 50. We ain't gonna make no more of that limited run with the carbon fiber. So, and I think everybody really liked it. We what do you think, Joe? I thought everybody that grabbed it, they really enjoyed it.
Yeah, man. What was really funny was I would probably say 80% of the people that came up, and I let them hold the Sure Grip version. They never even heard of it before. And so Sure Grip, for those of you that don't know what it is basically G10 with layers of rubber impregnated in it. And so when you sand it, when these guys do their magic, you can actually feel the rubber texture. And what that does is it gives you a really good purchase on the knife, because I have had knives fly out of my hand that were just G10 or micarta. Your hands are either cold or wet or, heaven forbid, they're bloody. I've had it happen. So we played around with that stuff, and, Bob and Kyle, those guys are amazing artisans, and they got this grip so perfect, because I'm a huge advocate. Like, the blade's important, but to me, the grip is even more important, because you lose that knife, you hit a collarbone, you hit the skull, an arm bone, and you're not holding it properly, out of the hand it comes, and then you basically just forfeited your life in a knife fight.
For all of y'all coming up here soon, remember, August 2nd through the 4th, I'm actually going to sign up tonight for sure. So I'm done with this podcast. I'm going to go get my spot. You still got a couple spots left, Joe?
Yes, sir. I believe we have, give me 1 second. I think we got 3 spots left.
3 spots left,
10.
guys.
I only do 10 people in a class. Very intimate, very, very small.
That's it. So remember, guys, basically one-on-one. There's 10 people, but that is not a large class whatsoever. So you're going to be training with Joe right there, and he'll have some help from another 1 or 2 instructors. But this is a small class. You're going to really absorb all this knowledge. You're going to be right there with these guys, and it's Joe Teddy. I mean, you're getting ground branch stuff. Okay, so make sure to sign up for that if you want it. 3 spots left. After tonight, there will be 2 spots because I'm going to jump on that myself because you got to do the things. And everybody that thinks that, oh, I can't spend that money. Hey, look, it ain't worth much until you need it, right? So go ahead. Sitting there and you need that knowledge and you don't have it, be like, damn, I wish I would have spent that money. It's too late. It's too late. It's over at that point in time. So, of course, we'll jump in here with we've got the protecting the homestead coming up. Now, guys, the tickets will be on sale this month, okay? I've just talked to a medical company. I'm not going to say who they are, but they're very awesome. They're very well known. And not only are we going to be doing CQB, husband-wife CQB, rappelling. I think Maureen's going to be making pemmican classes. If you don't know what pemmican is, you need to check it out. But then we're going to be throwing in some of the best high-stress medical training that you can get. In my opinion, the best in the freaking United States. Maybe the country. I don't know. These guys are well known. The owner of this company is represented by a very large animal. I'm going to leave it at that. But when it comes out, you will see it's going to be, we've already been talking about it. It's going to be just off the hook crazy. And if you don't make it to this training event, shame on you, man. Shame on you, because it's going to be a good price. And we're really going to be throwing some stuff in there. So, man, I'm done running my mouth. I'm already exhausted. It's been a long weekend. Randy, we want to delve back into the survival brain, that crazy, sick, twisted area that you are a magician of. You sent me some videos here. What would you like me to start off with to really dive into this crazy Troy's Gate stuff, man?
I think the first video where it's actually showing some EEGs on the skull, and you've got the person analyzing that video about the different
parts. The EEG case study.
Yeah.
So I'll throw this, guys. And this is, now tell us exactly what this video is. What are we going to be seeing here?
I'll say so. So what we do as part of some of our studies is we take the warfighter or the policeman into a live fire situation, and we look at the human elements, how the neurons are firing, the parts of the brain that's lit up. We're drawing blood before, we're drawing blood afterwards, so they can analyze the blood for the different chemicals that's released. We're looking at the heart rate, the breathing rates, and this video is just a little short video to show you just a touch of what we do, I think.
All right. Now, remember, guys, this is all pre-recorded for all you YT peeps and AI out there. This is a pre-recorded video. It's not happening live. We're not doing anything we're not supposed to, so leave us alone. Let's check this thing out.
In this presentation, we are going to talk about 2 exercises. One is a shooting scenario performed by a military pilot, Matty, and the second one is a no-shoot scenario performed by a police officer, Toby. Both of them were suited up with biometric devices, including recording glasses and EEG. By converting EEG results from these multiple lines into this visually appealing heat map, the data literally exploded with information. The perpetrator begins to move about the stage. The part responsible for executive function lights up red. Then the area that plans motor action kicks in. At some point, his entire visual and auditory processing areas are all lit up. We see areas with mirror neurons, areas that evaluate tone of words and their emotional implications. The perpetrator shoots first. The participant discharges 10 bullets. Interestingly, the brain activity continues to change while the participant is shooting. In this state, if you ask a person, "Why did you keep shooting?" they would not be able to give you an answer. EEG image was almost all red. This area remained turned off all throughout the exercise. And yet, the moment the curtain began to close, this area lights up almost exclusively. Now, this area of the brain is responsible for recognizing emotions.
Wow. So you guys aren't just doing all the sensors on the brain. You said you drew blood before and after. And what did you find with that blood draw before and after? What did that give you?
Man, there's a list of chemicals that's released in the body that actually controls the thinking and controls the body. So the video, it's complicated. It would take me a long time to explain it on this podcast. I don't think we have enough time. But if you look at the video, and they talked at the end of the video, the parts of the brain that was the emotional brain. So when some people shoot through this, afterwards that emotion's so strong, like we had one Saturday, he couldn't stand up. He just bent over, and I thought he was going to throw up, really, from what just really occurred. The war fighters, the people or the law enforcement that have actually taken human life, when they go through this, a lot of times they flash back, to their situation, and then when it's done, that emotional brain kicks in, and then they're overcome with trauma and the emotions of actually taking human life, whether it's on the battlefield or out on the street. So again, fascinating stuff. And Joe, you've experienced this a couple times. It's fascinating, isn't it?
Boy, I'll tell you, I'm going to be perfectly honest. When I first heard about it, I was like, all right, it's another UTM, SIMS, FAT scenario, firearms training system. Been there, done that. I'm like, all right. And then Bob's like, no, dude, this is a little bit different. So I remember the first time I went there, I actually was getting a little bit of adrenaline dump before I even went into the scenario. You get a little amped up because you know you're firing live rounds. It is so realistic. It's almost hard to explain. But the crazy thing about this is, even though it's a Randy has got this down so cold, it just sucks you into the scenario where it just becomes real. I have never, and look, I've been afforded the best training in the world, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I was in Ground Branch, they had a bottomless checkbook. And I've done a lot of live fire training, SIMs, UTMs. I can honestly tell you that was an eye-opener for me. And it's not just because they're shooting live rounds. It's the guys that Randy uses, they are such good role players. And let me tell you, we've used role players in the past and other stuff that I've done. If you don't have quality role players, it's for naught. These guys are so good. I mean, they sound really like when they're talking to you, you're trying to talk them off the ledge, and you're getting amped up, they're getting amped up, and all of a sudden, boom, your triggers hit the shoot. Whether it was justified or not, I learned the first time, I was slowing the trigger. I was trying to work on my verbalization, because that's something that I really had no experience in, because quite frankly, I didn't need to have it where I came from. And I died horribly from two guys with shotguns. And I learned right again that file away, like that ain't ever going to happen again. I tried to talk them down. I was watching them. They both had shotguns, and they shot at the same time. I got the one dude, but the other guy got me. But guys, I'm here to tell you, and again, I'm not trying to hype anything here. I'm just telling you, I've seen and been and afforded some really bomber training. This is such deep dive into the psychological aspect of guys. You can teach a monkey to do this all day long, but to experience the actual psychological process of standing there, trying to talk to someone, trying to calm someone down, and now it goes dynamic. And boosh, it just takes you to a whole nother level. And I'll tell you, it was an eye-opener for me. I have some things I need to work on, which is I'm learning how to de-escalate. Everything's work in progress, right, Randy? You're never, ever good enough at this, right?
Never. And the reason for that, Joe, is that human dynamics change. We're all made up differently. We have different experiences. Our mirror neurons come to play where I may like you, I may not like you for no reason. So our actors, when you come in, they may like you when you come in. You're actually able to talk them down because of how you speak to them. Or you may come in and say a word and trigger them, and then they shoot you. So none of this is played out. We create the situations. This is what's happening. You go in and deal with that situation, and it's all about human behavior. What are you saying? What are you doing? What are they doing? How are you responding? What are you seeing? And again, Joe, I think Mom's over there when we had a lady in there, and my actors call her a bitch. And when he does, he stops. You remember, don't you, Bob?
Yeah, no, that was Chris Weatherman's wife, Mel.
Yeah, boy.
So Mel, when
and she's like,
the actor says,
really
he says, "Shut up, you bitch," and she said, "Excuse me." I mean, it caught her off guard. It just smacked her real hard verbally there. And that's the thing is Randy, correct me if I'm wrong. You've been doing this for 12 years now, as far as the Troy's Gate platform.
Yes. 12 years.
Yeah, 12 years, guys. These actors, they've been in more gunfights than anybody in the entire world. Day in, day out. They have learned, like, they are the perfect individuals to trigger you. I don't care who you are. If you think you're going to walk in there and you're going to own this platform, and you're going to that you're going to make these guys do something they don't want to do, they got you figured out as soon as you walk in the door.
Yep.
It's a done deal. If they want to make you mad, they're going to make you mad. If they want to make you pee your pants, you're probably going to wet yourself. Just what it is.
Hey, Bob, on that note, let's show the video. So let me tell you a little. Can you show the video here in just a moment?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay,
Give us the intro to how this all goes down.
Let me tell everybody a little bit about the video. I have a business owner that was concerned about the law enforcement training of whether they could actually respond appropriate to an active shooter or to an armed robbery. So I told him, you want to experience it yourself, shoot through it yourself. So he said, I'll shoot through it. Well, this guy is very religious, very nice. He would give you the shirt off his back. I mean, never uses profanity, goes to church. However, we can go deep into your skull and we can pull out information that is stored away safely so nobody really understands that deep, wicked person that we really are. And then we pull it out. So let's show the video. Then we're talking about it. And then we'll show what the actors are doing. All right. So whenever you're ready.
Now I'm going to tell you guys, viewer discretion advised for the language. If you have any young ones, like, turn your volume down, hold it up to your ear, because and here's the thing, guys. I just found the video when I was at Troy's Gate and I was going to upload it. There is so much swearing on that video that I'm going to have to remove the audio in order to make it even worth putting on here. Like, if I just beeped it, it would just be like, "Hey, brother, beep." It'd be like a line. It was just that much. So I'm gonna heavily edit that one here. But guys, you're gonna hear stuff that you might find offensive, and it is, because let's be honest here, real life is offensive. You don't go and you're not walking through a dark parking lot, and the Teletubbies jump up to mug you. No, it's hardcore thugs or something like that. They're going to use profanity. They're going to push you. They're going to pull, punch those buttons. They want to get you mad. So, in the sake of making things real life, these scenarios are just that. It's pull no punches, real world grit. So, turn the volume down a little bit here, but I will say the 180 when this guy switch flips blew my mind. So let's see here. Where is it at? Let me find it here. And there it is right there. Action.
Hey man, y'all have a good day. Hey, y'all hungry? Yeah. What y'all? Hey, we're actually day today. A lot of sales. Oh, well, not really. Yeah, it was a little slow. Giving us the damn money that you fucking got today. Hey, you got it. Let me let my team go. That's team go. Right, I'm the one who wants the fucking money. Listen, I'm the one with the money, so you got the right guy. Well, take the money. And you got the right guy. But just do me a favor. We're gonna walk to the safe together. Oh yeah. Okay? Yeah. No. You're gonna do what we tell you, motherfucker. Yes, sir. Throw the money over here fucking right now. All right, so the money is actually behind me. You've got to come to me if you want the money. Go get the fucking money. Let you give us the money. Get on the ground! Back up! Get away from the gun! 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 Give me a reason, motherfucker! God damn it, you fucking asshole! All right, I'll take it. Got it. Go ahead. Jesus Christ! Woo! Stand over there. So I'd have been.
Oh boy! And if you only knew the guy, that's like on him.
Oh yeah,
that's on him.
This was actually an armed robbery that was going down. The guy was closing his business, and my actors come in to rob him of his money. He was there to try to keep his people safe, so he was willing to do anything he could to make them go away. They, again, on all these situations that we create, or scenarios, whatever you want to call them, we're digging for stuff. So my actors are doing things to trigger you. So we're trying to trigger that survival brain. So we get you into your survival brain. Then a lot of times there's a slip into the killing brain. So he went to the killing brain. Now his brain, when we watch what happens coming up, the actors shoot him with a shotgun. He responds back, empties his gun. And then one of my actors fall down beside the body's still quivering and shaking, and then he goes into his emotional brain, because you remember the emotions occur after the gunfight, not during the gunfight in most cases. It's always after, because when it's during, the survival brain's focused only on survival, so there's no emotions there. It occurs afterwards. So while he's shot, his brain seen this guy fall down, he's quivering like he's just killed him. My other actor is like, okay, now I got to get this emotional brain. Well, while he's telling him stuff about his friend, killing his friend, his emotional brain triggers to the survival brain, and the survival brain actually thinks that he is going for a shotgun to kill him. So watch what happens.
Right. Here is the actor's side of this, guys, of what this gentleman was actually seeing during this whole scenario.
Hey man, y'all have a good day today. Y'all hungry? Yeah. But did you have a good day today? A lot of sales? Oh, well, not really. Yeah, well, how about just giving us the damn money that you fucking got today? Hey, you got it. Let me let my team go. That's all right, man. All we want's the fucking money. Listen, I'm the one with the money, so you got the right guy. Well, take the money and throw it over here. But just do me a favor. We're going to walk to the safe together. Oh, yeah. Okay? Yeah, no. You're going to do what we tell you, motherfucker. Yes, throw the money over here fucking right now. All right. So the money is actually behind me. You've got to come to me if you want the money. Go get the fucking money. Make him give us the What?
Man, now look here, guys. While you're sitting out here watching this, I'm going to tell you, one, this video doesn't do it any justice. Two, if you think that you will react differently, and you may, but I promise you, you will not react how you think you're going to react. And that's something here is, even though, we smile and, there's stuff you're like, wow, that dude just completely flipped out. But I would tell you, my first scenario, I thought I'd shot 3-4 times. I dumped 14 rounds. Second one, I thought I had it whipped. I was like, okay, I got this figured out. I got Zach and Tim's number. Them guys ain't going to pull the wool over my eyes again. And they smoked me. I slammed a wall, about dislocated my shoulder. I handled my firearm better. But if you guys think this is easy and you're just going to breeze through this, you ain't. And the whole point is you're not supposed to, right? Right, Randy?
Yeah. So, again, talking about these behaviors, like Joe does a lot of hands-on practical stuff, and that's to learn the skills that you need. So when your brain's not really thinking right, it knows how to hold the knife, it knows how to cut, it knows how to do everything it needs to do. However, when we go into that survival part of our brain, we become animal-like. Joe, you probably didn't know this. I'm a hand-to-hand combat kind of guy. I've taught it for years and years and years. And yet, even though I know all this and I've trained and trained and trained for it, there were certain times where I was just fighting for my life and I could not remember certain things. I couldn't remember how to bend the wrist, or I couldn't remember certain things, and I become like a caveman just fighting blunt stuff. So again, that's that logical brain. We're in the logical brain when we're kicking, cutting, all this stuff while we're training, and then when we go to actually surviving, if our body is getting close to being killed, then it may slip into the survival brain, and you will cut somebody's head off and not even remember doing it. So a lot of people say, well, why did they stab him 30 times? Well, they don't remember stabbing him 30 times. They remember maybe one or twice, just like shooting bullets. They may remember shooting 3 bullets, but they actually shot 18 or however it may be. So it's complicated. Yes. With our court systems, guys that's out there that carry a concealed weapon, and you get involved in a shooting, they're looking at the black and white of what the law says and looks at what you did to violate the law. They're disregarding human behavior in life and death situations because they don't know anything about it. So again, with you having our website or our names, that you can, if you do get involved in some trouble, we have a lot of data to maybe help in court with you to maybe cause reasonable doubt to the jury based on the facts. And we work with judges and DAs to try to educate them on what to do and how complicated it is. Man, I should have sent you a video of some of these DAs and blotted their faces out. And you talk about behavior because they don't know. They're only looking at the law. And we watch movies, we watch TV. We're logically thinking about, well, I wouldn't do that. They shouldn't do that. So all this data and all this stuff that we're getting in is accumulative. And then all of a sudden, what we think we may do, now we're faced with a real situation. Don't happen, does it, Joe?
No, sir. And this is why, guys, this really, really drove home the point on why your shooting skills have to be at a subconscious level. Because your brain cannot focus on a threat, process all the data that's going on. There's a gun on the floor. There's a shotgun over here. There's a guy coming up. And now you're going side alignment, sight picture, grip stance, breathing. Guys, there is no way in hell you can do that. If your shooting skills have got to be at a subconscious level. What I mean is when you go into a situation like that, you're not worrying about anything but threat. You're not worried about your grip, your stance. It's got to be at a subconscious level. And that takes practice, a lot of practice. And dry fire. And that going through Randy's Troy's Gate really drove that point home. Because, yeah, I've done a little bit of shooting. I've been in some gunfights. You know, I've experienced what this feels like for real. And, yes, you know, when I was there, I wasn't worrying about sight alignment, sight picture, grip stance, breathing, follow through, trigger press. And I was still getting overloaded with information. I had to force myself to scan the room. Oh, there's a hammer on the ground. Oh, there's a shotgun behind the door. Because what happens is the whole room goes like this under an adrenaline dump. Right to the guy with the gun. And that's not good because there's a door there, there's a door here, and now you're focused on this guy, and this dude walks out and lets you have it. So it is an amazing experience. I can't, guys. It's really hard to put into verbalizing it. Randy obviously does a very good job at it because he designed it. He's done it so many times. But if you have any way to get there and just spend the day, you know, do a couple runs in the morning, go have lunch. Randy's an amazing host, and then come back and do some more. It is the cheapest insurance policy you can buy to file those little files away. Like, yep, now I know if two assholes come in my house with a shotgun, they're both dead before they hit the ground. I'm not talking to them. I'm just not. It's the last time I did it, I died. And now Randy's got proof of it. So anyway, amazing stuff.
You know, I agree. And there's something else to be said about this too when it comes to, you know, I stepped out of a couple of those scenarios and I was like, you know what? Next time I'm not going to talk to those guys. I'm just going to shoot them. And then the next scenario, I find myself talking to them again. All right?
Right.
Because as human beings, y'all, we don't want to just smoke people, right? And if you do, well, there's something wrong with you. All right? As humans, and when you say, Randy, that we go into something like this, even if it's a threat, not wanting to take life. It's not like we want to do this.
You know, I've been involved in a couple shootings during my career. The last one I was in, a guy had a baby hostage, which I've shared this story with you guys before. And he's got holding a baby. He's pointing a shotgun at me, and I'm gonna shoot him in the mouth. There's something that I hesitated because really I didn't want to kill the guy. I really didn't. So, you know, when you come to us and we put you in these life and death situations, hesitation is part of it because we really don't want to do it. This stuff is so real. Your brain, you think you're really killing these guys. I mean, it is that real. It's insane how it works. So again, somebody questioned me and said, well, you're training people how to kill people. Well, no, I'm not. I'm not training anybody to do anything. I'm putting them in a situation to let them experience what it's like to go into a gunfight. So why do we need to do that? Well, we need to do that so we understand what we might do if it comes our way. And it helps harden our little brain for the trauma that comes afterwards. So if we take that brain and we expose it to what it's going to encounter in real life situations several times, and then back it out and let all that information you talked about, Joe, getting up in the little files where it needs to be for later recall, it will help you on the long run. So the more you get into this, and the more that logical brain sees this and that survival brain is triggered, the only way to train the survival brain is let it go there. It trains itself. And then when it learns that it doesn't need to jump in the survival brain, your logical brain can still be working in a gunfight, and then everything is working like you've been taught to work, if that makes sense.
100% right there. I like how you put that. You know, and that's it, guys. This type of training, you know, I get tired of every time I post something about, oh, you guys are selling fear. You know, no. What we're selling here is peace of fucking mind. All right? That's what this is. It's peace of mind knowing that if something bad happens, you can keep your shit together and you can actually come out of it safe. And then after the fact, you also have the people at Troy's Gate who can come and help you if push comes to shove and you go to a courtroom and they try to make it look like you're just some, oh, you meant to, take this guy's life and it's your fault that you did this. No, it's about training that mind to be able to handle this correctly. And Troy's Gate and Mountain Readiness, we're not selling fear. We're selling peace of mind so that you know that you can protect yourself and your family as God and the Constitution intended for you to do.
That's right. That's very well put. Very well put. And one thing I'll tell you guys, a lot of you that are listening right now, I brought a young man that I was training with to Randy's place a few weeks ago, and I'd been training with him for a couple weeks, and I said, "Hey, we're gonna end this whole thing with going to Troy's Gate," and I told him about it. And very accomplished shooter. He knew what he was doing, but he told me that I'm just going to game this. And I said, well, go ahead and try. I thought the same thing. I'm going to game this. I got this. There ain't no gaming it, dude. You can go in thinking I'm going to game it. I know it's going to, and that's just it. You don't know what direction it's going to go, and how fast it goes or how slow it goes. You can't game it. You think you can. And so a lot of people will be like, well, I can just, I can ease myself into this. And there's really no easing into it. I can assure you, when you walk down this little corridor, so you hit this door, they tell you the scenario, you walk down this very short corridor like a tunnel, and then poof, the lights go on, and it's an instant. It hits you like, uh-oh, and you cannot tell the difference. And I even remember standing there going, what the fuck? Like, you just standing right in front of me, and they weren't. And it'll blow your freaking mind. And one thing that Randy said to me that absolutely proves the RAS, the reticular activating system, is when you're shooting, you can't even see the holes that you're punching through this proprietary material. And the way Randy has designed this, you can't even see it. Your brain doesn't even see the rounds going in it. All you see are the people. That is proof positive that the RAS, the reticular activating system, only allows your brain to see the threat. Everything else don't mean shit. What the paintings on the wall, the music that's playing, doesn't matter. It won't see it. And that Randy's place proves it.
So, I mean, while you're speaking Saturday, you're right. The Saturday, I got these big Bose speakers in there. It's really loud. So we had my actors holding a baby, and they come in. There was this was a church security team that came in, and they was concerned about somebody coming to the nursery, domestic violence or something like that. So they took a baby. So when they picked up the baby, it was quiet. And then when they started arguing, one of my guys grabbed the baby. When they grabbed the baby, I had another guy in the control room that hit that baby crying. And that baby crying was so loud it hurt your ears. They were like 9 or 8. They were 8 people there. None of them ever heard that baby cry one word. And outside, everybody outside in that little bonding area couldn't believe the baby crying where they could hear it perfectly clear because they have their logical brain. And while they're in there in front of the baby, can't hear. So you can't really hear things. The smells, sometimes you can smell the gunpowder, but the concussion from the shotgun, some people feel it, some of them don't. It's according to where they're at in the game. And you probably felt the shotgun maybe a couple times while you was up there.
Oh yeah.
Did. Absolutely.
Now, Matt King, he says, Randy, how long in your experience does it take a person to come out of the survival shooting mood? I'm going to guess, are you saying, Matt, or are you saying how long does it take for you to come back out of it, or how long does it, do you?
That is a good question. I know what he's saying. So, when you go into the situation, whether we're doing an active shooter or armed robbery or domestic violence or just somebody that's evil that we're dealing with, it's all based on the actions of the actor. So the actor, once the actor does something to trigger that survival brain. The brain will empty the gun in a lot of cases into the body. Don't mean to. Maybe shoot 1 or 2 bullets. Probably not. It'll empty the gun into them. All right. Now, when that brain sees that threat is stopped, then it's slipped back into the logical brain. So if you look at some of these police shootings where maybe somebody took a taser from an officer, when they did that survival brain that officer triggered, even though they turned to run away, you can't turn it off. It's turned on. It will kill you while you're running away. So don't take tasers from policemen if you want to live, people. I mean, it's a fool that would do something like that. Once
Great point.
Triggered, and like a case down in South Carolina where a white guy shot a black guy. They don't shoot them because they're black. They're shooting them because of what they're doing. So if they do something to trigger the survival brain, then that human that may have a badge on is responding to that behavior. It's wanting us to survive too. And then when it happens, the officer will discharge. And when the brain, I have done this before. My brain says kill it, and believe me, that happens. You can't turn it off when it says that. So when the officer, I'm using the officer for example because that's where I have a lot of data from. When that officer, the threat stops, the body falls down, the brain sees that it's safe, it will then switch back into the logical brain, and that logical thinking brain will realize that it made a mistake, and then it'll try to do things to cover up what it did because it knows it's in trouble. If that makes sense.
Man, that's crazy. That's great. Now, Randy, how does this, and I'm sure you've had many people come back over and over again. It's not just me who's been there 13 times. So have you ever had anyone that has been in a life or death situation and had to take life that's been with you many times before? And how did you get a chance to talk to them about what their brain was doing during that because of all this training?
All right. So thank you, Bob. That's a good question. So again, when I have pretty large classes sometimes with law enforcement that comes up, and I tell them all, if you're involved in a shooting, let us know so we can ask you a couple of questions about the shooting. We're not going to turn the information that you give us over to any investigators. I mean, hell, what you tell me, nobody knows about anyway. So again, the information that we're getting back. So the people who come to us and they do training and they leave and they go and take human life. And this has been told to me several times. When they're shooting the bad guy, then they are shooting Zach. Their brain puts that bad actor that's at our place out on the street, and they're shooting him, and they're telling me it feels just like it felt at Troy's Gate, and they thought they shot one of my actors, so they sleep like a baby. All of them so far has been cleared because all of them have been good shoots because, again, their logical brain is able to play longer because it's all. And again, let me share this with you because it just came to my mind. When we go practice with our guns, with our knives, and then we deal with aggressive behavior, people with aggressive behavior, that's accumulative. So our brain, again, as a police officer, I can tell you as a police officer, for example, and Joe, you can probably share some of your warfighter stuff. As a police officer, we're training them to be fearful of people going for the pockets for guns or getting knives. And the brain, the amygdalas are becoming hypersensitive based on the data that we're giving them. So I can take a rookie and run them through this. They outperform the people who've been in it for 25 years because they don't understand really how dangerous the streets are. Where that 25-year officer understands and he thinks, man, we could die at any minute here. So when they come to Troy's Gate, they trigger easy because the brain is like cocked and locked. And then when they come to us, we decock it. And when we decock it, that means the logical brain is going to work longer and it's not going to be hypersensitive. So they probably won't kill somebody that they shouldn't kill, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. And one thing that I can tell you guys that are listening, if you don't understand how the OODA loop functions in your brain: observe, orient, decide, act. Randy's place absolutely again quantifies that loop. And the average person cycles through their OTA loop in about 1.5 seconds. And that's what I tell people. It's like, you don't have seconds. When people say it happens in seconds, that's bullshit. It happens in tenths of a second. And think about that. That's this. Guys, that's the reality of a gunfight or a knife fight. And understanding how the OTA loop works. If you don't even know what it is, Google it, guys. It's out there. And also Google the color code of awareness, because those two things work together. But going to Randy's place, again, it quantifies the data that's already out there in a real practical scenario. We're like, yep, that is absolute fact. It's not fiction. And it's great to see, hey guys, I got a little experience at this, but Lord knows, I like to be at least honest. Your skills get rusty after a while, right? I did it for a long time, but I've been out of the game for a while. And going to Randy's place just quantified how, if you really want to be good at this stuff, guys, you got to commit the time and you got to commit the investment. I mean, it's to be able to go to a place like Randy's it's priceless. It's really priceless.
In yourself. Yeah. Invest in yourself, invest in your family, invest in your life, because that's what it could come down to. And speaking of, we're going to throw a promo out here with Mr. Pete Robertucci that is down in our comments that he's late. It's okay, Pete. I'll let you slide this one time. But of course, Pete, right after Fallout in October, is going to do a day of range training right at Troy's Gate. And then right thereafter, he's going to put you right into Troy's Gate, those scenarios, to put your training to the test. So let's run that promo. We can talk a little bit about this too, Randy. So here it goes, guys. And I will say, Pete is an accomplished shooter. He's a firearms instructor. He's done a ton of training. Awesome dude. And he did a great job in that scenario. I mean, he reassessed the threat. He come punched down clean, punched out with that pistol. I mean, he really, really nailed it in my opinion. But, of course, Pete gave us the muted version. There was a lot of choice words that were thrown in there that he didn't want anybody to hear. And that's fine, because it was great, though, to see that, guys, because it shows just how that brain goes into survival mode, man. It doesn't know what it's doing. You swear, you're snorting and cussing and spitting, and, it's just you go to that place, right, Randy? Just like you said, once you go there, that's it. It's doing what it was made to do, survive.
I know our time's running out, but Joe, we can probably talk a little bit about this. As a war fighter, we have a mission, and that is to kill the enemy. So we have the green light to go kill if we have to kill. On SWAT, if we have a bad thing going down, we have the green light to go take human life. That's hard, kind of, but it's easy, Joe, that kind of how that goes. when that decision time comes for you, the individual, though, that we got a home invasion, we've got a carjacking, we've got an active shooter in Walmart, for example, or something going down, and we're having to respond to something that's happening quickly. That's where all this stuff happens up here. Mission oriented, having a green light, easy. Something happening, having to decide what to do, and trying to follow the law that is applied upon all of us, not so easy to do.
That's a fact, guys. I'll be the first one to admit what I used to do for a living was pretty simple in comparison to what our law enforcement professionals have to deal with on a daily basis. The whole escalation of force. Where I came from, my job was pretty simple. I would get a target package on a bad guy, and we would go attempt to capture them. If they fought back, they came back in a bag. I didn't have to go through any de-escalation. I didn't have to pull out mace or a taser. I had an M4, and if that didn't work, I had a pistol. So for the law enforcement people out there, their job is so much more difficult because, like Randy just said, it happens like this. They're walking up to a car and just bam, in a tenth of a second, the guy pulls out a pistol or whatever. It's really, remember guys too, now you're in a reactive state. What's faster, action or reaction? Action. And that's not what you're going to have. You're going to be reacting to somebody's stimulus, whether they're screaming and yelling at you, they pull a knife, they pull a gun, whatever. You're already behind the power curve, which is, now your cognitive skills are shot. Your critical thinking skills are shot. You're getting tunnel vision, auditory exclusion, fine motor skills are kind of gone. Like, adrenaline's not a good thing. Everybody thinks it's great. It's not. It doesn't help the situation at all. So, you got to think about all these things and experiencing this. And actually, one thing I want to say too before we get off, Randy will send you a file, which I've watched mine over and over and over, like an NFL player watching their plays. You can actually start picking yourself apart and going, look at my body language. That looks a little aggressive right there. No wonder the guy pulled a gun. Like, you can start cleaning up your operational performance points right on video. And I have them like, that was a mistake. Why did I do that? Why did I put my hand on my gun? And again, guys, be critical on yourself. And that's the way I look at myself. Guys, there's no experts at this. Randy and Bob will tell you. If anybody says they're an expert at this, I think they need to eat a little bit of humility.
Common business.
Yeah.
Come visit Randy and the boys.
That's the answer.
Now, you guys, it's an amazing thing. I tell you, I just learn more about myself, and every time I go, you learn something. I mean, there's no way to put into words what you will experience at Troy's Gate when you actually do it. And so that's why spending the time and the money, you are investing in yourself and your family. It's super important. If you want to be healthy and in good shape, you have to spend the money on quality food, right? Because we already know that food is crap, and the crappy food is cheaper. That's why a McDonald's double quarter pounder is like, well, the prices went up, but a salad is more, right? The same thing with investing in yourself with your mind. If you're going to train, spend the money and train right. Don't just go out there and plink at a steel target. And look, shooting fundamentals are great, but you have to have all these different types of training. You can't just get stagnant. You get stagnant if you go do this. You go to the same range, you go down there, you go to the same target, you shoot 100 rounds, half of them don't even hit paper. You go home and I got my training in. No, it's not training. It's waste of ammo. So, Joe, what do you want to lead us out with tonight? This has been a good class.
I can just tell you, and again, I'm not trying to hype Mr. Martin in any way, shape, or form. I respect the guy, his background. He's been there, done that. What he has developed and put into practice is nothing I ever saw before. Lord knows, having this type of technology and experience, For civilians to have access to that is mind-boggling. Most people would keep that just the military and law enforcement. Randy is giving everybody an opportunity to experience this. And guys, if you want to find out what as close as you possibly can get to what it feels like to being in a real world gunfight, that's it. There is no other next level. That's it. Joy's Gate. That's it.
That's it.
Thank you.
Leave us with some knowledge, Randy. You always come out with these like awesome things. You got stuff to say about dragonflies coming out of the pond. I'm like, whoa, that just blew me out of the water, man. I hate to put you on the spot right at the last of the show, but you're like the Yoda of mind training, man.
Talking about the dragonfly coming out of the pond, when you shoot through Troy's Gate and you come out and all this information is up here and your brain is arcing around. It's like that dragonfly coming up out of the pond and is baking in the sun, and he comes out of that sun, hardens that shell, and then a new person comes out, and he flies and he sees another world that he hasn't seen before. When you come out of Troy's Gate, you become what we call a Trojan, and that would be a police officer, a warfighter, a housewife, a preacher, whatever it is that you do. And it does it on its own. We're not there to teach you anything. We're there to make sure you're safe when you go through this encounter, to help you transform into a new world of knowledge, I think would be the correct analogy. That's
awesome.
Very well put.
And I'll throw this. Yeah, I'm going to throw this up here real quick, and we're out of time, but I like where it was going, and I want to stress this, guys. Guy says, Troy's Gate, has anyone ever quit after the first scenario?
All right, let's talk about that one. So again, we do training for snipers. We do training for SWAT, for law enforcement. Yes, BLET. One college sent their class to us. Half of them went and quit when they went back, and
yep.
They didn't want to go into law enforcement. Again, this is some very heavy duty stuff. If you're concerned about your personal safety and wondering if you're capable of, if somebody's breaking in on you, are you capable of protecting your family? This is a good way to find out. It's not for everybody.
No, it's not.
It's not. Well, and in respect of that, guys, here is what is important when it comes to training. Randy and Joe both know this woman who, she is in a world that is design, fashion, and had never even touched a firearm. I mean, zero training whatsoever. She came to Mountain Readiness, did all 3 days there, did all the classes with tactical riflemen. She was processing chicken. This woman went head first in, signed up for tactical rifleman afterwards, doing the combat pistol carbine, goes to Troy's Gate. And I'm going to tell you, there was some times where she was scared to death. You could tell she was breaking down, breaking apart. But after it was all said and done, a new person emerged, just like Randy said with the dragonfly, guys. And if you fall down and start chewing on your knees and you fall apart, and the instructors have to calm you down and remove you from the scenario, it's way better to find out when it's fake.
Absolutely.
Right? So it doesn't matter. It's not about how you perform. It's just about doing it, right? You need to know what your mind and your body is capable of if something bad happens. So what Randy is saying here, or what Joe is saying here, what I'm saying here is doesn't matter if you quit. Doesn't matter if you hit the target. Doesn't matter if you beat the clock and you shoot them first. And 9 times out of 10, you won't, because these guys know exactly what they're doing, and you're going to lose anyway. It's about knowing how you're going to handle that situation. And it's best to find out when it's not real, guys, because at the end of this, the actors come out and they give you a hug and they give you some shit and they tell you, hey, don't worry about it. Go home, just decompress and stuff. If it's real, you may not have that opportunity, or maybe your family doesn't have that opportunity. So, folks, don't worry about what the outcome is in this scenario. Just get down there and do it. You guys got anything else before we wrap it?
Hey, one more thing, I think, with in a real world situation where we have somebody breaking in on us, and we have to do that thing like shooting them and taking their life, that is some very scarring stuff. So when you come to us, you're able to actually shoot somebody, but you're able to get some closure after it's over with by hugging my actor's necks and shaking their hands and thumping their chest. And that helps with part of the healing. So that brain understands that this trauma that I just got, I can deal with it. And guess what? I just got some closure. And then if it ever happens, it's not going to be as traumatic, I think. Over.
I'm going to wrap it with that, guys. It has been a good show. And of course, we plan on bringing Randy back again once a month or so, because this training is so important, guys. The world just keeps, it's a tailspin, it seems like, keeps getting worse and worse and worse. And if any part of you is worried for your safety or your family's safety, and you should be, man. The world is a crazy place. I'm not saying walk around paranoid all the time, but if something goes down, I want to make sure that I can protect myself and my family and my own, right? I don't want to actually kill an innocent bystander because I'm freaking out and I haven't practiced these things. I haven't trained for these things. But get over there. If you guys got questions for Randy, of course, hit him up there at rmartin@troysgate.com. He will be happy to oblige. Make sure to hook up with Pete, or just go now, right? Get a group. Get with Randy and say, hey, I got X amount of people. What do we got to do to make this happen? And set your own scenario up. These actors, they will take you to the next level. I don't care how you perform. You will be better. You will be better when you leave Troy's Gate, period. So awesome show. Joe, thanks for being here. Randy, thanks for being here. You guys are awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next time. Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Until then, be safe. Talk at you.